Hello and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial we're gonna do this stitch, a very easy stitch, one row repeat, very easy. This might eat some yarn because we're gonna work with puffs. The stitch is reversible. It's very easy to do a blanket, even for you guys, the beginners. I think it's really nice. A wrap, a blouse, whatever you like to do. The stitch is very easy and goes really fast and builds up really fast. Okay, for this stitch we're gonna chain multiples of 3 plus 4 more. So I have here 15 chains. I'm gonna chain 4 more chains, 2, 3 and 4. We're gonna skip the first 4 chains, and into the 5th chain we're gonna do a double crochet, chain 1, and in the same chain where we did this double crochet we're gonna do a puff. So once, twice, and a third time, yarn over, and you're gonna pull the yarn through these loops, not this one, then yarn over and pull the yarn to the last 2, chain 1, and in the same chain where we did this this double crochet and the puff, we're gonna do one more double crochet. Now we're gonna skip the next 2 chains, and into the third we're gonna do the same. We're gonna start with a double crochet, chain 1, and in the same chain we're gonna do a puff. So once, twice, and the third time, pull the yarn through all the loops, pull the yarn to the last 2, chain 1, and we're gonna do one more double crochet into that same chain. So it's gonna look like this. So we're gonna repeat, skip the next 2 chains, and into the third, double crochet, chain 1, and a puff into the same chain. So once, twice, and the third time, pull the yarn through all the loops, pull the yarn through the last 2, chain 1, and we're gonna do one double crochet in the same chain, skip the next 2 chains, and into the third we're doing the same. It's gonna look like this. Looks really nice. Okay, so we're almost at the end. We're gonna skip the next 2 chains, and into the third we're gonna do the same, a double crochet, chain 1, and a puff into the same chain. So once, twice, and the third time, pull the yarn through all those loops, last 2, chain 1, and one more double crochet in the same chain, and you're gonna be left with 2 chains at the end, 1, 2. So yarn over the hook, skip the next chain, and into the next, which is the last one, a double crochet. It's gonna look like this. Okay, we're gonna chain 3. You're always gonna chain 3 at the end, turn your work, and now this will be the row, this row that you're gonna do until you finish your project. So this is the repeat row. So you chain 3, yarn over the hook, you're gonna go to the first cluster, let's say, double crochet, puff, and double crochet. All we're gonna do, we're gonna work on top of the stitch where is the puff. So you're gonna skip this double crochet, and you're gonna work on top of the puff stitch. So there is the puff. You're gonna go through that stitch, and you're gonna repeat one double crochet, chain 1, and into the same stitch you're gonna do a puff. So once, twice, and third. Pull the yarn through all those loops, last 2, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet into the same stitch. It's gonna look like this. So now you move to the next cluster. So you're gonna skip the double crochet, and you're gonna always work on top of the puff for the stitch. The stitch is right there on top. 1 double crochet, chain 1, and a puff, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet into the same stitch. So you're gonna do like this. You're always gonna work on top of the puff. So 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 puff in the same stitch, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet. It's gonna look like this. So you're gonna do the same. You move to the next cluster, the stitch on top, you're gonna repeat. And 1 more double crochet. So now at the end you're gonna do the same. You're gonna go to the puff stitch on top there. You're gonna do 1 double crochet, chain 1, and a puff in the same stitch, chain 1, and a double crochet into the same stitch. And now at the end we have the chain that we skipped last row. So we're gonna go on top of the, let's say, 3rd chain. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's the 4th, because we skipped 4 chains in the beginning. And we're gonna do a double crochet. You're gonna chain 3. It's gonna look like this. It's a very easy stitch and quite cute. So you're gonna repeat now. Okay, so you're always gonna work through the stitch on top of the puff. So you go in there, you're gonna do a double crochet, chain 1, and then you're gonna do a puff, and a double crochet. You move to the next cluster, you go on top of the puff stitch, you're gonna do a double crochet, chain 1, a puff stitch, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet into the same stitch, and you move to the next, and so on. I think it's a nice, easy, fast stitch to do if you want something like a little bit open work to do a project. You move to the next, the stitch on top of the puff. You're gonna start with a double crochet, chain 1, and you're gonna do a puff, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet, and so on. Move to the next, and you're gonna do a puff, chain 1, 1 more double crochet, and at the end you have the chain 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna go on top of the 3rd chain, and we're gonna do through the chain, and we're gonna do a double crochet. You're gonna chain 3, and you repeat, and this is the stitch. It's really easy, this one. Well, your yarn is gonna recommend whatever crochet hook number you have to use. I use 4.0 millimeter crochet hook with this yarn, so give it a try. This sample I worked with 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. The yarn, it's not, you know, quite thick. Yep. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.